Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here on this gorgeous morning. It's so wonderful to see all these happy community faces joining us today. My name is Tara Rouse. I am currently the ASA Board Chair. And on behalf of the board, here we are at the Cambridge Community Forest. So as we're entering a new chapter here with a new Executive Director, we're thrilled to have Renee Bouplon with us. She's been with us for many years, but now we have her in a leadership role. Thank you, Renee. We are in the second year of our 2020-2025 strategic plan. We're in 2021 here. Oh my gosh, almost 2022. And a couple of the things that we're working on are branching a little bit more into forestry and into community conservation. And we were able to marriage those two things here today in the Cambridge Community Forest. And it really has been about the community, something that the community came to ASA with and that the community is interested in. And we're very excited to have so much support moving forward with this effort. And I'm personally thrilled to have our first property that is public, and we have recreation and education and sustainable forestry management. So it's really, there's so many co-benefits to this property, and there's a lot for us to learn and to move forward with, and we're thrilled to be doing this. Renee is gonna do a lot of our thank yous, but I do just wanna say thank you to the ASA staff, right? The board loves our staff, we love the staff, and every one of the staff members has been involved in this project, moving it forward to just make sure that it has come to fruition. So here we are on this beautiful day. It's wonderful to have it open before Thanksgiving. I hope everybody can get out here with their families and all through the winter. So wonderful job. So much time and effort has gone into this, and it's truly exciting to be starting this venture. Thank you all for being here. Renee.
Thank you, Tara. I do want to mention we have a couple other ASA board members here today. Jim Allen in the back, who is a forester and helped with the forest management plan on this, and Sarah Ashton I saw, who's also been instrumental sort of in this whole process. I think those are the only two. Again, thank you to staff. And I did want to particularly mention Ethan Rubenstein, who he came on to ASA this year, worked a lot on this Cambridge Community Forest. Unfortunately, today is his last day. He's headed off to Maine because apparently it's not cold enough here for him. So that's fine. So it's really fitting that he can see this opening today. So thank you all, and to all the staff as well. So my hands and my feet are a bit chilly this morning, but my heart is full of warmth, and that's because of you. We're here really to celebrate you. You made this project a reality. And we thank the Cambridge community for partnering with us on it. They were stewards, certainly, of this land long before ASA. So I want to acknowledge that we gather on the ancestral homelands of the indigenous peoples of our region. Among them are the Mohawk, the Haudenosaunee, and the Mohawk. We honor and respect their ancestors, past and present, who have stewarded this land over generations and honor their ongoing connections to the land. This project was several years in the making, but with every great project, it starts with one voice, one believer, and before you know it, you have a few community members forming a task force. Next thing you know, you have a friends group formed. Jared Woodcock was that initial one voice that kept popping into our office, talking about the opportunities of this property. It took a while for ASA to think it through, be comfortable with it, since this was new to us. We were embarking on a community conservation project, whereby we're trying to address a community need, going through it with conservation work. The community was looking for more recreational trails and amenities, and ASA was looking for ways to highlight our forest conservation work, because everybody knows us for our farmland protection efforts. We also wanted a place for public programming to connect people to the land, especially children, to working land, to nature. Not everyone has easy access to a forest they can explore, even in rural areas such as this. As we know, it's really critical to get children to connect with their natural world early on, so they respect and appreciate these resources as adults. This property is special because it already kickstarted many of our earlier experiences for Cambridge school children in past years. Thanks to now retired science teachers Howard Romack and John Kelly, and current CCS science teachers such as Stephanie Gifford, Steve Butts, and others. And the willingness of the previous landowners, John and Barbara Merriman, who offered this special place over many years, sort of informally and formally to many of those groups. Through the journey of this project, I heard many fond memories of people's youth exploring the woods and the stream. ASA is pleased and honored to offer these working woodlands for the public enjoyment for hiking, snowshoeing, fishing, eventually there might be some mountain biking trails, as well as educational programs as an outdoor classroom. ASA, in partnership with the community, will manage these woodlands for sustainable timber, for carbon sequestration, while keeping the land on the tax rolls. It will be open from dawn to dusk, 365 days a year, starting today. Thank you. I'm certainly going to leave people out that should be thanked, and I don't mean to. I will do my best, but I do want to sincerely thank several of them this morning. We are grateful to the Open Space Institute for providing significant funding toward ASA's purchase of the property. Their vote of confidence in this project allowed other funders to follow suit. Also contributing to the acquisition expenses were generous contributions from Fields Pond Foundation and the Community Land Preservation and Planning Fund of the Community Foundation for the Greater Capital Region. And Barbara Glacier, thank you so much, Barbara, for that, as well as a lot of individual. I moved the mic, Jimmy. I did it.
Oops.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't touch the mic. Okay. My hands will get numb shortly. And a lot of individual community members actually stepped up as well and closed that gap so we could actually purchase it. But purchasing the property back in 2019 was kind of just the first hurdle. Now we had to make it accessible to the public. The bridge you stand on today, it was very secure. You're all on it, so I'm hoping it's extremely secure. Looked a little bit different. There was a lot of rotten wood. There was gaping holes. But with challenges comes opportunities. And we were very fortunate to submit 2 grants that were successful. One was, we got funding from the New York State Conservation Partnership Program and the New York Environmental Protection Fund. The program is administered by the Land Trust Alliance in coordination with the State Department of Environmental Conservation. And we were also fortunate to get a matching grant from the Alfred C. Sullivan Charitable Trust to make these repairs. And personally, I was glad because it would kind of forego my fear of anyone actually plunging through and landing in the White Creek below. So thank you for that. So I'm going to introduce our first guest speaker at the moment is Jeff Bates, who is the Environmental Program Specialist with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. He provides oversight for the Conservation Partnership Program, and we welcome Jeff. Come on up.
Oh, thank you. Usually I'm back there with you all, and I have somebody else higher up in the agency doing this talk, so bear with me. So I'm thrilled to be here today with all of you at the beautiful Cambridge Community Forest to share in this exciting opening to the public, along with from ASA, the Land Trust Alliance, and Mayor Bogle and Supervisor Griffith, as well as lots of members of the community. CEC is proud to be a partner with ASA and the Open Space Institute, Land Trust Alliance, and the town of White Creek and the village of Cambridge through the Conservation Partnership Program to help with the repairs on the bridge here so that everybody can get into the community forest. For New York, community forests provide a great number of benefits to the members of the immediate community as well as visitors that advance state priorities that are discussed in documents like the Open Space Plan, the Forest Action Plan, and the Wildlife Action Plan, such as educating people about the importance of forests and forest management. And while I was doing a little bit of background research for my comments, I came across, I think on the Community Forest Facebook page, a nice video that talked about sourcing the wood from a hemlock tree and milling it and constructing the kiosk here, which was great because it had a very nice demonstration of where root comes from. And then protecting the watershed that is important for an important trout stream, as well as providing a range of recreational activities right very close to where people live. And also taking up and storing excess carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and the trees that will grow here, are growing here, and will grow here in the future. And the list goes on. We look forward to seeing how the students and families and hikers and birders and anglers and all members of the community and visitors interact with the community forest and experience all these benefits. And DEC is looking forward to supporting more communities and land trusts and creating community forests and protecting forest land in the near future. Thank you and enjoy.
Thanks, Jeff. Next, I would like to introduce Mimi Hanley, who is the New York Senior Program Manager for the Land Trust Alliance. It's an organization that not only administers the Conservation Partnership Program grants, but provides tremendous support to land trusts in New York and across the nation. Mimi.
Thank you, Renee. And thank you all for being here today. This is just such an exciting occasion. So on behalf of the Land Trust Alliance and the New York State Conservation Partnership Program, congratulations, ASA! The partnership program with funding from New York State's Environmental Conservation Fund is proud to support this forest, the bridge, and the work of ASA. As an accredited land trust, ASA is a leader within the land trust community and obviously within this community too. So thank you for that. The ability of this property to connect people to nature and for ASA to serve as a resource to help educate landowners and the public about the importance of protecting working lands like farms and forests is remarkable. And the ability of these lands to ensure that the health benefits that we all rely on, clean air, clean water, habitat for nature, flood risk reduction. It's essential to this community and it's essential to all New Yorkers. So this property is definitely something to be thankful for. So my gratitude to the really hardworking staff at ASA, their board, the family that helped with this, and all the partners, agencies, elected officials who made this possible. Thank you for your support and we're with you.
Thanks, Mimi. Although we do have some incredible and talented staff and board at ASA, surprisingly, nobody is a bridge engineer. So, but luckily, we have a wonderful ASA supporter who offered to lead the process. And thank you to Peter Deming, who is here today. I saw him over there, who is an engineer and a resident of the town of Cambridge. And he offered his services pro bono and spent considerable time overseeing this bridge work. So I want to thank Peter. I also want to thank the local contractor, Moy Enterprises LLC, that actually did the redecking work. So around the time we purchased the property, a few members of our original task force worked on a grant for the village of Cambridge to secure EPA planning assistance to create an action plan for creating a recreation economy for rural communities. And I know some of those members are here. I saw Elaine Chinian. I think Sarah Ashton worked on it. Maybe Alex Siri Snyder. I don't know if she's here, but I know she worked on it as well. The successful grant incorporated the Cambridge Community Forest as a goal and identified the next steps. But I think it did more than that. It brought with it greater community support, a collaborative approach on addressing community needs, wonderful volunteers, and working closer with the Cambridge Central School. And I don't think Superintendent Doug Silvernail, oh, he is here. I knew he said he was coming. Thanks for coming, Doug. So it really was a wonderful experience, and I think it helped bring this community for this forest together. And the person that initially brought that grant opportunity to my attention is our next speaker, Carman Bogle, who is the mayor of the village of Cambridge and is also representing Assemblyman Jake Ashby's office today. Come on up, Carman.
Thank you. Congratulations. This is a wonderful thing to see happen in our community. We always think of the village as such a small, walkable community. It is, but there's no public recreational space. So when Renee came to me about the forest, I was thrilled to see it come to be a reality because we really needed something here close by, especially with the pandemic. I think one of the byproducts of that is that it got everyone outdoors. We all want to be outdoors because it's safer to be with the trees than with people right now. So I'm delighted to have this happen. Thank you to the many hands that made this possible. Volunteers are the core of getting anything done around here. It takes, yes, it takes many people. So if you don't belong to a local organization or volunteer for one, I encourage you to, because it takes many years to make projects like this happen. I'm super excited about this because now I don't have to drive my kids all the way up to Tupper Lake to the Wild Center and spend tons of money to do that. We have something close by. But it's really particularly
It's always about 65 degrees year round, so not too cold. No, just really, really nice to see, something like this being established in our community for more generations to come. So, Jared, thank you very much for bringing this to everybody's attention. We might not have hung out in here, but I know we had a lot of friends that hung out in this area. And, yeah. But no, thank you, the ASA. Thank you guys for all. It was really great to be part of the planning process of this. But the hands and the volunteers that made it come to a reality. So thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Finally, thank you to many individual supporters of the project as well as volunteers. Many of you are joining us today, and I really appreciate that. Your spirit, your excitement has really driven us, and it's kept us focused on the goal. There are too many to name, but I wanted to point out that I want to thank Jared Woodcock again. He's heading up our Trails Committee as part of our Friends Group, and Sarah Becca, who's here, who's heading up our Education Committee, which is currently focusing on the Century Trail for our littlest hikers. And support for that trail was generously provided by the Charles R. Wood Foundation. And we had some design work by Lichen Ecological Design for it. Additional trail work throughout the property is going to be occurring over the spring and summer months. And so there's still a lot of opportunities to help and participate on this. And I do want to thank the support of the Hamill Family Foundation for a leadership gift to help create a stewardship fund for this property, as well as some ongoing project work. Ethan Winter was going to be here today from that foundation, but he had a last-minute obligation. So before I break up, I just want to say, Jared, I think, and Sarah will lead people if they want to see a little bit of the Century Trail or some of the work that's happening on the lower trail right now. I'm happy to do that. But before we disperse, I do want to say one other thing. You'll note on our kiosk, if you venture over, a quote from John Muir, and I will leave you with that today. Going to the woods is going home, for I suppose we came from the woods originally. Welcome home, Cambridge. May this be a special place for all people, for all ages, for all times. Thank you and happy Thanksgiving.